get started. How is everybody tonight? Are y'all okay?
Good.
Yeah, hey Timmy. There's just going to be a few of us on, so if you want to stay unmuted, you can. But this is week 2. And before I get started, like Alicia and Christy, is there anything that you guys are struggling with specifically, or do you want me just to go through this and then you can ask your questions? Does it matter?
I'm just not good at it.
Shush, stop it. Stop it. You can't say that. I wasn't good at it at first. It was totally a learned behavior. I mean, like, it's just totally, I had to learn the behaviors and practice them and practice conversations and practice inviting people. Like, it was just totally awkward for, I don't know, like a good 4 or 5 months before I really felt like I even halfway knew like what I was doing or what I was saying. I mean, honestly, there are still days where I feel like when I go to message somebody or respond to someone and I'm like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I don't even know what to say. So it's just, it's just kind of one of those things you feel your way along. And let me get something out of my bag real fast because there's something in it I wanted to make sure I covered. But so, Alicia, first of all, your posts are amazing. Like, they're amazing. Like, I did not have a voice like that whenever I was a new coach. I mean, I love, love, love your posts. So you can't say that you are not good at it because you really, really are. And, you have such a story. Let's see, Christy. Yes, Christy, can you talk? Are you muted? See. She may not have known she raised her hand. But yeah, your posts are really amazing. And like, that's the first thing on my list to talk about is just posting. And you're doing it, like whether you feel like people are watching you or not, like people really are. And what you're saying has so much value. I promise. Like, if you will just believe me and just continue doing that, and continue inviting people, then, people are kind of going to figure out what you're about and what the challenge group is about and what you're doing. So if you, like, when we get to the end, you can tell me kind of what makes you feel that way, like what you're having trouble with. And Timmy and I can definitely try to help you that way. But, at this point, last week we talked about just kind of getting started, setting up your Beachbody stuff on your website, like making your profile public. We talked about the basics. I don't know if I covered Success Club very well, but Success Club is just helping 3 new people every month get started with a challenge pack. Our goal is to help people get signed up with a challenge pack, get in our challenge groups, just like you guys did. Challenge pack is a workout program in Shakeology. And so every month, your goal is just to help 3 new people get started that way. And the way that we do that is honestly through our post, posting 3 to 5 times a day. Because, why post 3 to 5 times a day? Why not like post once a week about our challenge group or post once a week about our workout? And it's because different people are online at different times of the day. And so like if you post at 6 o'clock in the morning about your workout or a challenge group ad, there's a lot of people that won't see that. And just being present on social media is a way to get people's eyes on what you're doing and have people watch you and hear your message and kind of figure out what you're about and to learn your story. And this is totally, like I talked about last night on our call, our team call, this is a social media business. And if you're not posting, then you don't have a business. So like if you put your coaching announcement out there, hey, Andrea, if you put your coaching announcement out there and you never posted anything else, like people aren't going to have any idea, what you're about. So this is a social media business. So you have to post to have a business. And that's why, it's so important to be online. And if you can only post 3 times a day, that's fine. You should aim to do your workout post. If you do it in the morning, you can share a picture of your lunch or a recipe or something. And then at night, a motivational quote. You don't have to be like posting 20 times a day in order to be successful at this. Just be present at different times of the day. And, as a brand new coach, I didn't have any idea what to post about. Like I got on social media to post pictures of my kids, And that was pretty much it. Like if you go back to my Facebook feed 2.5, 3 years ago, you're not going to see a ton of pictures of me. It's going to be like my kids every once in a while, and that's it. So I didn't know what I was supposed to talk about. What am I supposed to post about? And so my coach helped me. She just gave me some ideas. I'm going to give you some ideas. But, I definitely encourage you, in your business, what do you want people to know about you? What are like 3 or 4 things that are really important to you? For me, I knew that my faith, had to be a part of my story. I mean, it was part of my story, but it had to be something that I communicated with people. I have children, so I talk about my children, how I feed them, like how do I work in clean eating into our family's meals? And now that they're older, I talk about lunches, like I took a picture this morning and I forgot to post it. It's been a crazy day. But of Henry's lunchbox and a note that I put in there, talk about, if you're a cancer survivor, or if you're a caretaker for someone, or, if you like to scrapbook, or you like to, like Timmy is a football mom. She's gone all the time to football games, just pick 3 or 4 things that are you, and that really you want to communicate, that you want to share with other people. And that's what you post about, so like if you're an early riser, if you do your workout in the morning, talk about why you make time to do that. If you struggle to do your workout in the morning and you find yourself doing it in the afternoon or before you go to bed, talk about how you fit it into your lifestyle. In the evening, share dinner ideas, prep ideas, share how you can replace ground beef with ground turkey or ground venison, and still have the flavor but not the fat. If you struggle with late night snacking, or that people that do, before you go to bed, post a kitchen close sign on Facebook and talk about how you have to like keep yourself out of the kitchen. You can post about Beachbody and about I don't really say the word Beachbody a lot because I think it turns people off, but I can post about what I'm doing and share tips and recipes that are valuable to people. I pointed out on our call last night, like, Andrea, you're always posting something that's of value. It's a recipe or it's a tip. Alicia, you're really good at that. You've been talking about how you make this a priority, how you can't basically sit on your butt and lose 50 pounds. You talked about your containers before. You guys are adding value. You guys are present and you're posting and you're adding value. And so, like, honestly, that's what I struggle with the most in the beginning. And once you can kind of get your posting down and really communicate who you are, then it kind of, it's going to take a little while for people to catch on, for people to really, because they're waiting, honestly, for you to quit. Okay. Because a lot of people, like, how many people start a workout program? How many people start a diet, and they do it for like 3 weeks or a week even, and then they just quit. So, honestly, you're building that consistency, you're building that compound effect, you're building that momentum, and people are just watching to wait to see if you're going to keep doing it, quite honestly. But just kind of, if you struggle with posting, just make out a plan, write down some things that you could post about, or make out a scheduling plan for posting, that you're going to post your workout in the morning, something at lunchtime, and then something before you go to bed, but you can, again, just share your meals, your workout selfies, tips for cooking in the kitchen or for eating out. It feels weird at first, like it did for me, but it definitely becomes more natural. And there are even days now that I'm like, I need to post about something, but my brain is so foggy, like I don't even know what to post. But you just kind of get in the habit of doing it. Honestly, your brain switches to coaching mode, and you find yourself like, taking pictures of the weirdest things, and you're like, oh, I can post about that, and so that just becomes normal. It becomes a habit. But if you're having trouble kind of thinking of things to post about, then don't hesitate to ask. Ask here, ask in the Coach Basics page, and we can definitely kind of help you come up with some ideas. Let's see. So, so do you have people messaging you, Alicia? Do you have people asking you about what you're doing or anything?
Yeah, I've talked to a girl once already, and then she messaged me really early this morning. Well, she texted me and asked me before we didn't talk about the price. And then this morning that she messaged me and wanted to know how much it was.
Yeah.
And I did my spiel about you get all this stuff and it seems like a lot, but it's really not. And then I never heard anything else back from her.
Okay.
I sent the video. I recommended the 21-day fix for her. And I was just going to follow up with her tomorrow to see if
that's good.
If she thought that was, too expensive. I mean, she never sent me anything back after that.
All right. Well, too, and you have to remember in conversations that people are busy. Like, honestly, people are busy. And so she texted you early in the morning. That may have been because it's the only time she had to text you. And she may think it was kind of expensive. I mean, I did. I thought it was expensive at first. I didn't buy Shakeology. And so you kind of have to just give people a breathing room and then just follow up and say, hey, I wanted to follow up. I knew you were really interested in the group. Did you have any questions about what comes in the challenge pack or about the challenge group or the cost of the program? And just ask a question and see what she says. I mean, the worst thing she can do is say no. But like, do you have people, can you notice that people are starting to follow you more or comment more, or do people send you a message and say you're doing a great job? Because the longer you stick with this, the more people will be motivated by it, honestly. Or that's definitely what I found. So, just posting and being present on social media is a big deal. That's a huge part of what we do. Obviously, one of the vital behaviors is being proof that the products work. And so, like just talking about your workouts, what program you're doing, you're sharing your results from time to time. That's a huge part of this. And so you guys are definitely, Alicia, you especially, you're on that. And your posting doesn't all have to be Beachbody related. You should definitely, like I said that to you one day, Alicia, sprinkle some non-Beachbody stuff in. And you were like, what are you talking about? But yeah, it doesn't, people need to see, if we just talk about fitness all the time, that it's going to kind of get boring. But, people need to see you. So like, you see me post a lot about my kids. Timmy posts about what she's doing and her kids, or she includes her kids in her videos, and, just share stuff about you. And people want to know more about you and what you're like and kind of what your daily life is like. And so definitely don't just talk about like fitness and Beachbody, because people will like get tired of that. But Timmy, do you have anything? Do you want to jump in at any point?
Well, I was just going to say, I think that part is really important because, yes, we're all excited about what we're doing and the opportunity and how it's changed us. But I think more, just us always, and we do, you post the recipes and you share all that stuff. But I think what's going to get people to come to you to ask you is because they connect with you, or they like your sense of humor. And I think that's where the videos are really important. I noticed I have more interaction the more videos that I do and the more consistency I am. And my boys are kind of goofy in the background, but I think people are liking to see that a mom, kids are, goofing around in the background. And so like that, you just see that. So whether or not what your story is and who you are, that's going to attract people. I mean, what's that saying? Your vibe attracts your tribe. And I think that's true. When people see you and connect with you more, that's when you build that trust level, because I really do think a lot of times they're just kind of waiting to see if you're going to continue or if you're going to stop. And so you showing up daily and showing your personality as well as how you're incorporating it in your life is very important to have people to build your trust before they, if you think about it, it's such a touchy subject and stuff about it. I know it was sensitive to me, and I was a watcher for a long time for our coach before I just reached out and messaged her. But by the time I was ready to message her, my message was like, okay, what do I need to do? You know what I mean? So people are watching.
Yeah. And I have to say, Alicia, you have to remember that I think I reached out to you a long time ago before you ever actually joined the challenge group. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. So you do have to remember, it probably took you a long time to kind of really trust me. I don't know. I think trust is a huge thing. And we're going to talk about that and like relationships, but people have to trust you. And so the more consistent that you are, and the more, like Timmy said, that you share about you, and they can they can learn who you are. You know, as I shared on last night on our team call, you know, like I was sharing a bunch of stuff with you that I had like I realized I had gotten away from this stuff. Like I had gotten away from sharing tips and motivational quotes at night, or you know, tips about, you know, in my morning workout posts, you know, and I had gotten away from all this stuff that I feel like really built trust in who I was and what I was offering as a coach. And so like people honestly have to trust you, and that's where that consistency, and you're going to read that. I saw that you just got your book. You know, like once you start reading that, the stuff that we're telling you guys in this training group and every week on these calls is really going to make a lot more sense. But yeah, it's totally a trust issue. And, you know, like your Facebook feed, your Facebook banner, your profile picture, whatever, you know, it should be you, because people are going to buy into you and your lifestyle, like Timmy said. So Alicia, your post would be different than mine. You have big kids, like you have big kids who are gone and doing stuff, and you're gone all the time, you know, and like, you know, so your post and what your story is going to be is different than mine. Or Andrea has a baby. You know, like she has to work all this stuff around her baby. She's trying to figure out what to feed her baby. You know, and so like all our stories are different, and people buy into your story. So the more you talk about you and what you're doing and why you're doing it for yourself and your family, that's how people connect with you. And the consistency part is huge. But, you know, you can even, you know, those objections, if you're getting objections. So like, what objections have you gotten? Obviously cost is an objection. Has anybody else gotten other objections, like I don't have time or something like that? Not at this point. Okay. You know, like I get a lot of people that say, well, I don't really have time. I can't make time to meal plan or to work out. Or, you know, people say clean eating is boring. You know, I really love food too much to do something like this. Or, you know, obviously the Shakeology cost. And those are kinds of things that you can address in your post. Like you can kind of preemptively strike, you know, so that whenever you do end up in a conversation, if they've been following you, then they kind of have an idea about those things. So, you know, yes, Shakeology, if you're getting a lot of Shakeology objections, like talk about it in a post. You know, talk about, I don't know, some of you guys, maybe you were like me, or you didn't want to buy it at first because it was expensive. But, you know, like I did major research on Shakeology to figure out what was in it and compared it to some other things. I even tried some other things that were like totally nasty, and I just couldn't drink them. And so I thought maybe Shakeology would be that way too, you know. And so I put that in a post, and then I say, well, I just decided, saw these people having such good results. I decided just to invest in it and try it. There was a 30-day money back guarantee, and it was absolutely the best thing I've ever seen for cause. You know, like I don't want to take cholesterol meds. I don't have to take PMS anymore. You know, that's a post. And you can even include in there, you know, it comes out, it costs me $4 a day, you know, and so you can talk about what it costs. As a coach, we pay about $4 a day for it. And, you know, just compare it to another meal that you would spend more than that on. You know, I always talk about how I replace it for breakfast. I used to spend like $6 every morning on breakfast, a really bad, nasty breakfast. And so, you know, you can definitely talk about cost. You know, and talk about Shakeology. I don't talk about Shakeology every day. Timmy's way better about talking about Shakeology every day. I think for me, part of it is just a time thing. Like I always suck it down in the morning, and I don't really have time to stop and take this cute picture with it or anything like that. You know, and it doesn't have to be a picture of you or your Shakeology, but there are so many ways to talk about it. Like I talked about it in that event page today, where I compared it to that pumpkin spice latte or whatever it was. You know, there are different ways to talk about it, but you definitely, if you're getting lots of cost objections, like just talk about it. Timmy, do you have points on that one?
Well, I was just going to say some of the things that I realized is, like one of my posts I did probably about 2 weeks ago, I talked about it being in replacing my multivitamins. Like I took multivitamins, vitamin C, prebiotics, I took biotin, and I took something else, I can't remember what it was. But I did a post about how I had all those different vitamins that I would take. And now this is in replacement, and it's my one dumb meal of the day that I know I'm fueling myself with the right vitamins, and it helps me meal plan because it counts as one of my meals. So I try to go for more of the nutritional factor of it, and then talk about how it can be a meal replacement. And then someone messaged me because they said they have a hard time taking big multivitamins and started on Shakeology. Now, I didn't realize, that wasn't like the main purpose of it, but you sharing, think about why it is that it's helpful and how you've saved money. Because I talked about, now I don't buy all those different vitamins, so I've switched off the cost. That's how I went into the post, as thinking like a switch off, not buying a bunch of bottles of vitamins and using Shakeology instead. And they connected with not having to take a big pill because they can't swallow pills. So that was why they tried it. So, those little things that you may not think are, how you win, you're still sharing about why you're drinking it. Adding value to it will help cut down on the price, because you're showing so much value in how it helps you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really hard to, it's really hard to, for me to get into one post and not overwhelm people, all the reasons that I drink Shakeology, because there really are a lot of them. But I used Tammy's, kind of her outline for one that she posted. It was your milkshake one. And I took your wording and I added my own to it and gave my reasons for drinking it. And it was really 15 reasons that I drink Shakeology, but it was pretty concise. And I had a couple people message me about it, after I posted that. And so the more you talk about it, the more that people, and the more people see you doing it and talking about how you incorporate it into your life, the more that other people think they can too. In my private conversations, if I get the cost objection, I say something like this, okay? I had somebody who told me that they just couldn't afford it today, and I'm going to find what I said to them, and I'm going to copy it in here. Let's see. They told me she couldn't afford it right now, and she wanted to drink it, but, she just couldn't right now. And so this is what I said to her. I'm going to type it in the chat bar. And I found that this is kind of a really good way to talk about it, I didn't want to buy it at first. I usually tell people, but I said I found now that if I budget, when I started budgeting it into my grocery budget, my monthly grocery budget. I didn't actually add anything to my diet. I wasn't adding a protein drink or anything like that. I was just replacing some food that I was already eating. And I said also, I really waste a lot less food now that I meal plan, and I prep for food each week, prep my food every week. And so I feel like I actually save money than as opposed to how I used to eat. And, I talk about the fact a lot in my posts that, I just would go and buy tons of, really fresh food at the grocery store, and it would just go to waste in my fridge. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that. If I buy it, we eat it. And so I don't waste money on food anymore. And so that's one way that I talk to people about it. And I find that people really respond well to that. In this girl, she was like, okay, thanks. That does make sense. But she's not going to join my challenge group right now because she doesn't want to spend the money. But I always tell people, I totally understand how you feel. I run a challenge group every month. So when you decide, you're ready to try it, or you can try it, let me know. But in the meantime, just keep following me. If you need advice on anything, let me know. I'm here. And so that gives me credibility too. That helps people to trust me, because I'm not, when they say no or when they go silent, I don't just leave them alone. But if they tell me, no, I can't afford it right now, I just say, I totally understand. I'm not going to say, well, you can be in the challenge group anyways, because I don't think they'll do well in the challenge group without the challenge pack. And I want them to do well. And so I say, if you decide that you're ready to do it later, I run a challenge group every single month. You can join me whenever you're ready. But in the meantime, here's a meal plan. In the meantime, let me know if you have a question about anything or replacing something, in your diet, or, a good place to start would be just to cut out Cokes first. I'll give them some advice or a tip. And that helps them to understand I really do care about them. Like I really do want to help them in some way. And when they're ready, they'll keep watching me. They'll keep watching me post my workout selfies, share my transformations, talk about my challengers who are having results, and they'll see me posting those those challenge group ads. And eventually, if it's God's will, they will join me. And so I just have to trust that process. And I've trusted it for 2 years and it's worked. And so that's the approach. But I definitely want people to know that I care about them. And I'm not just trying to make a challenge pack sale. And people will get that. People will get that, and they will definitely start to trust you. The next thing is that, if challenge group ads, like have you guys posted your challenge group ad? Yes, you may have done your coaching announcement, which hopefully you guys have done. Y'all, I'm so tired I can't even talk. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. But your challenge group ads, it's a lot like your coaching announcement. But again, it's just a picture of you. And it is, I've got some pictures and things pulled up here, but it is a picture of you. Like this is just an example of mine. It's very simple. This one, I used to do a lot of different things, like put lots of words on there. But I honestly find that something like this really catches people's attention more. But your challenge group ad, again, you're just telling your story. Christy did a really good one. Can you guys see that? She talks about herself and like how she started a year ago, how, she felt really bad about herself. Like she couldn't fit into her skinny jeans. None of her clothes fit. She felt very insecure just about how she looked and about being a mom and not having the energy to do anything. And she's just telling her story. That's a really good challenge group ad. You share an emotional part of your story first. It doesn't have to be, this image honestly is not one that I would do because it's kind of busy, but it draws a lot of attention. Like if I saw that, I would stop and read what she had to say. Mine tend to be a little more simple, but her goal here was to talk about it being fall, talk about crock pot recipes in her group, and to give people like just a little snippet on her photo of what she was inviting them to. But your challenge group ad, you can make it, you can snap a picture. This one of me is in my laundry room, like my laundry/pantry room. I just stuck my phone up on my washing machine and I took the picture and I kind of blurred the outside of it with Snapseed or something, I can't remember, and I just added some words to it. And then over here in the text part, I kind of shared a little bit about my story, how I love to help people, what God has taught me about my health and my body. And, I want to help you do this, this, and that. Okay. And so your challenge group ad is just you telling your story. I love the way Christy did it here. And telling people what you have to offer in a challenge group. So, she says she goes through all that about how she felt. And then she found a challenge group and she found support and she found accountability and she brought God into her journey. And now she wants to help people the way that she was helped through a challenge group, and that it's going to be about 30-minute workouts, meal planning, crock pot recipes, devotion, accountability, and motivation. And she just goes on to end it. I want to share this with at least 5 people. If you're ready to get started, click on this form, or you can say comment below or send me a private message, but give a clear call to action. And that's your challenge group ad. And you all have a story. Like I know your stories. You all have awesome stories. So just break it down, share an emotional part of your story, talk about how you found a challenge group, what helped you in that challenge group, and then share what you're going to do for your challengers. That's a challenge group ad. I'll share this one. Let's see. I think I can screenshot it. Well, I don't know. Do y'all follow Christy? Are y'all friends with Christy?
I don't, but
okay. Her page is not public because of adoption things, but I'll get her to share this or make it public so I can share it. But hers it's just a really good example, and I can share some old ones of mine too. But your challenge group ad is just an invite, so we're talking about these workout programs. We're talking about Shakeology. We're talking about meal planning and all that stuff on a daily basis. And, I think Timmy has explained it, and I've heard Melanie or somebody explain it this way before, but you're talking about all these things. You're excited. But if you don't ever invite people to do it with you, then they're not going to. And it's just like, somebody else said, you know, like you talk about how excited you are. You're planning for your kid's birthday party. You're buying this cake. You're buying these decorations, but you never actually invite anybody to the party, then that just doesn't make any sense. Okay. So it's kind of that same concept. We're excited. We're talking about things, and we have seen these differences and this just improvement in our own health, in our own fitness, in our own faith. And we want to invite people to do that with us. And if you genuinely feel that way, it's not going to be salesy. It's not going to be selfish. It's going to come across in your delivery and in your invite process. And you, again, are just telling your story. And you know, you guys have really, a lot of you guys on this call have gotten really good at telling your story. So my next question is, are you inviting? Have you posted your challenge group ad? Have you created one? Have you put it out there and asked people to join you? Because that's definitely the next step. As well as inviting, you know, inviting one-on-one. Inviting people to join the challenge group, you know, starting these conversations, connecting with people, and then sending an invite to your challenge group. And you know, when you're inviting people, there's this form process. If you go into, is that in our Coach Basics page, Timmy, that form? Let's see. I don't see it. We need to put it in there.
Which form?
You know, the FORM, when you're going through the invite process, like family, occupation. It's basically this process to kind of ask questions. You know, like when I invite, I don't like to send a cold invite and just say, hey, do you want to join a challenge group? I do that sometimes when I feel like I can. But I really like to connect with people first. And so one of the ways that I do that is that I'll send a message like to somebody that I went to college with and say, hey, how are you doing? Your family looks so great. What have you guys been up to? You know, I start a conversation that way. Or I might say, you know, what are you doing now? That's the occupation. You know, what are you doing now? What type of work are you doing? You know, and just like I like to start a genuine conversation with people. And a lot of times it naturally leads into them saying, hey, I've really been watching you. You've totally been inspiring me. I wish that I had that, you know, that consistency, that ability to stick with something. And I say, well, you can. If you want that accountability, I didn't have it until I joined a challenge group. And now that's all I do is that I help people through challenge groups, you know, and I would love for you to join us if you want to learn more about it. Okay. And so forming or starting those conversations with people. Yeah. So Timmy put it up here. Let me share this. Share my screen. Yeah. So it's just, this is in the Coach Online office, and we'll put it in the file section of this group too. But it's just starting a conversation by asking about somebody. You know, go to their page first. Obviously, make sure, I always like to say, make sure nobody's died. Because like I really did start a conversation about a challenge group with somebody. Her husband was laid up in the hospital. They didn't know if he was going to live. She did not care about a challenge group. Okay. So I always like to go to people's page before I start a conversation, and then I just form them, you know, like, and just, I might comment on a couple of their posts, or I might, you know, just like some of their posts before I send them a message, just so they kind of, you know, see me doing stuff and interacting on their page. And then I just reach out, and at some point I'll invite them to a challenge group, you know. And like, this is a good one. She says, hey, I've got a great group of friends on Facebook chatting about general health and fitness. I'd love for you to join us. Or another thing is I just posted this in the group. This is just it's a mass file of sample invites. Okay. There's lots of different ways you can bring the conversation up. You know, just, hey, how you doing? I want to see if you had any interest in joining my upcoming health and fitness group. Or, hey, how are you doing? I've been thinking about you. I hope you're really doing well. I wanted to give you a chance to think about my January support group. You know, I mean, there's lots of ways you can approach it. And like I said before, if you're forming people, if you are asking questions, if you're genuinely and like really being a good listener, people will get that. They will They will feel that connection with you. And so long as you are offering programs or suggesting programs that actually meet their needs, because as you get in conversations with people about health and fitness, people are, I mean, they're just going to start spewing. They're going to say, oh, I just can't stick with anything, or I love food so much, or I'm so busy, I don't have time to get healthy food together. Your people are just going to start sharing with you. If you're asking questions and you're really investing in them, then people will share. And so based on what they share, we make suggestions for programs that will meet their needs, So I'm not going to suggest hammer and chisel to somebody who's never worked out before. Or I'm not going to suggest, like PiYo to somebody who loves cardio or loves weights. And so as you get in these conversations and you're asking questions, people will share with you kind of what their needs are and how you can help them. And it's not, if you're sharing just to be able to help them and you're sharing to be able to meet their needs, they will get that. They will feel that, and it will not feel icky. It will not feel salesy. If you believe in these programs, if you're enthusiastic about this stuff, people will sense that, and they will know your heart. So inviting is definitely, we got to be talking about, we got to be posting our challenge group ads, and we need to definitely be inviting. One place to start is who is liking your daily workout post. Who is somebody that's commenting or liking on a regular basis your workout post? You can start there. What I do, I don't send those people and say, hey, you're liking my post. Do you want to join my challenge group? I will send them a message typically that says, hey, thank you for following me and supporting me. And I just hope that what I'm posting is encouraging you in some way. That's it. That's what I send people. And typically people are like, yeah, it is. How do you stick with that? Or, I'm so motivated by you, but I just haven't been able to commit to anything. And then that opens a door for me to talk about the challenge group and about accountability. And, I say, well, do you have 30 minutes to work out? And they usually say, well, yeah, I think I could do that. And I'm like, well, okay, what's your goal? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to tone up? Do you want to just learn how to eat better? And they'll tell me. And so it starts that flow of conversation. And it gives me the opportunity to send them some suggestions and talk about the challenge group. And that's how I start conversations. That's how I invite people. I just connect first. And then pull out that memory jogger. The memory jogger is in the file section of our page. Make a list of people that you could connect with, that you could invite. Because if you're just sitting at your computer thinking, who could I invite? Like, that's pretty hard. I mean, that's hard. Like, that's really hard to just come up with people. But that memory jogger is really helpful. It kind of forces you to think about people that you might not think about otherwise. And just sit down and make a list of names and start just connecting with 2 of those people every single day. And start conversations with 2 of those people every single day. And you can connect with people in so many different ways. Just go to their page. If they just have family photos done, comment, send them a message and say, hey, your photos are awesome. Who is your photographer? Or, like if they were in a wedding, you could say, oh, you look so pretty in that wedding. Your dress was awesome. Did you guys have fun? Timmy, tell them about your birthday thing, the birthday calendar. Hold on, let me unmute you.
Sometimes you have a hard time trying to figure that sometimes you sit down and you're ready to start doing stuff and you're not sure where to start. And so I kind of got into a little funk about some stuff after I was on a vacation, and you're almost thinking, where am I going to start? So what I did was I went to, and can I share my screen to show them where it's at?
You should be able to.
Yeah. So if you go into, and you can do it from your phone and you can do it from your, desktop too. But if you go into events and then you go to calendar, it brings up all these different faces on there. And that's the people's birthday, that it's their birthday this month. So what I did is I started to go through, and if you click on them and you can say open in a new window and then kind of scroll through, and you can see like what they're posting about and like and comment on a few things. And then what you're doing is you're setting yourself up, and so you're showing that you're showing up in their feed, and they're going to start seeing your stuff, and you'll start seeing more stuff. then what happens is when it comes to their birthday, you're able to, and I always send them a message, you're able to go in and message them, hey, girly, I hope you have a great birthday. I hope you have a fabulous day and you're getting spoiled. And then I always end it with a question, are you doing anything fun to celebrate? Well, since you've already started to comment and like, and things are starting to show up on each other's page, it's a normal question. It's a normal happy birthday. You know, it's not a shock because you haven't talked to that person in 6 months or something like that, or you haven't seen their feed in 6 months. And then that conversation starts kind of rolling. And then it's not a surprise. You know, people will be like, oh, I see your posts, or they'll start talking about like, what is it that you're doing? It kind of comes up a little bit more naturally. So it's kind of a fun tip that I've been doing when I'm trying to like think of new people to talk to.
I think that's awesome. Like, I would never have thought about it. And so I think it's just a really great thing to do. And I really started doing it last week, and it was good. Like, I didn't feel weird when I sent people a birthday message. Like, I felt like, you know, they've seen me, they know that I'm kind of following them, I'm paying attention to their stuff. And so I just sent a birthday message, and I was like, happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day. And just like she said, do you have plans? Are you celebrating in a big way this year or anything? And it just got some conversations going. And so I enjoy connecting with people. At first, it was really weird for me because that's just kind of, I may seem like a super outgoing and like relationship person, but it's kind of hard for me, honestly. And so I enjoy that genuine, like, one-on-one connection with people. And so, you know, and honestly, I pray over it, you know, before a lot of times, you know, I will just say, God, you know, like, help me to connect with the person you want me to. If you want me to, you know, actively reach out and invite them to a challenge group, show me. If I feel like I'm not supposed to, I just don't. And I just connect with people, you know? And the thing is that when you message somebody, they see your posts more, okay? So even if you just message somebody and say, hey, girl, you looked awesome in that photo of you on the date with your husband. I just wanted to let you know that. One, that's a huge compliment. People love to be complimented. Be genuine. Don't make stuff up. I don't encourage lying. But, you know, send genuine compliments and conversations. Start conversations genuinely. And when you send somebody a message, you will see they will see your posts more in their newsfeed. It's just this Facebook affinity thing. The more you like and comment on somebody's post, the more they see your posts pop up. Okay. And so, like, that's what I'm just out there connecting with people every day, adding new friends, commenting on people's stuff, sending private messages every day. And that's how people start to follow me. That's how you're going to gain a following. And so if you're doing that, but you're not posting consistently, then they don't have anything to follow. So it's all just like this compound effect. That's why it's called the compound effect. And it's just these little tiny things every day that we're doing that make our business stronger. Okay. And it just kind of makes sense. So inviting doesn't have to be scary. It doesn't have to be icky. It doesn't have to be salesy. Just so long as you have others' best interest at heart, and you are definitely starting genuine conversations. And I've been that girl, and I know Timmy has her own story where I've sent out like 50 invites in a week to people that I didn't know, and it felt stupid. Like, it just felt wrong. And I don't want to teach my team to do that. I want to teach you guys to learn how to connect with people, to learn how to, you know, just definitely genuinely invest in other people. And, you know, it may never end in an invite to your challenge group, but if you've invested in somebody, you've helped somebody that day, you've changed somebody's life. And that's a really good feeling. And, you know, like, if that's all I ever did with this coaching business, then so be it, you know, but fortunately, it has been successful for me. It's taken a lot of practice, a lot of inviting, a lot of conversation starting, and a lot of tips. And I learn something new every single day. But, you know, like, it's definitely, it's very rewarding in that aspect. So once that you do invite someone, you know, like, Alicia, you were saying you've been in conversations with people, you'll talk about stuff, and then, you know, nothing, you got crickets. I always follow up. Like, I always follow up. I've been in so many different conversations. Like, I've really been pushing this month. It was hard for me to get to Success Club this month. And again, I think it went back to those foundational things that I was not doing consistently. And so I kind of had to step it up, start doing those things again. But I was really out there connecting with people, a lot of people. I was in a lot of conversations. I'm still in a lot of conversations with people. I finally hit Success Club, but like, I really had to push myself to do it this month. But, you know, I follow up. You've got to follow up. If you're inviting people and you never follow up, then you just, to me, that's like wasted time, wasted words. But, you know, if you're following up with people, I usually follow up 24 to 48 hours after my last conversation with them if I haven't heard from them. And my follow-ups are just like, you know, hey, I just wanted to check in with you. I know you were really interested in the challenge group. I wanted to see if you have any questions. Did you get to watch that video I sent you? I always ask a very direct, pointed question so that they have to respond. Okay. Sometimes they don't still, but usually if you ask a pointed question, they will respond. It may be, hey, I've been so busy, I'm sorry I haven't gotten to watch it, and you're just jogging their memory to go and watch that video. Or it may be, yeah, I had some questions, but they forgot, they never followed up and asked you the questions. Or it may be like, yeah, you know, I just don't think I can afford that much. And you say, okay, well, you know, what, you know, I guess, I don't really know how I say this. Let me think. How do you, when people say they can't afford it to me, what do you say? I'm trying to think how I say that. I usually just say, oh, well, I do the feel, felt, found, honestly. Usually. You know, I totally understand how you feel. I felt the same way. Is that what you
My
do?
story is pretty much the same. I would say I totally get you. I mean, I saved it to do it. It was a Christmas gift. I saved up for it. So I tell them my story of saving up for it for a Christmas gift, and that I knew about the 30-day money back guarantee, and that I was totally going to return it if it wasn't beneficial to me. That's how much the company believes in their product. And so I kind of talk about that, and then I say something about, and obviously, and then I also talk about the whole grocery bill thing, about how it becomes one of my meals and how it actually helps us save money that way. So I've used the same two things. I just kind of share my story, how I get it because it was expensive for us too, and I saved up for a Christmas gift. And then how I always knew in the back of my mind, if it didn't work, that I could always return it. You know, I mean, I was really nervous about sharing that at first because I was worried about people returning it. So I didn't share that for a really long time. Mm-hmm. But I felt like it kind of gave people a little bit more confidence about it. And I haven't had one returned yet, like knock on wood or whatever, but I think just showing like, hey, we believe in our products, both me and the company, that helps people, you know, you're sincere about it. I didn't return it. I still drink it every day. So it did work for me. So that's why I stuck with it.
Yeah, I definitely tell people it was like a gamble. I didn't know if I was going to like Shakeology or not, but now here I am. I've been drinking it for 2 years and I've never felt better, you know? And I know it was Shakeology because I've tried other things in the past, like tried clean eating and exercise, but Shakeology gives me energy. It's easy. It's a no-brainer meal. It works for my lifestyle. And, you know, like you said, I replaced my vitamin. There's so many things that I have found, you know, but I type that in the chat bar. I definitely use that. I say, I totally understand. When you say I understand how you feel, you're relatable. You're saying I relate to what you feel. What you feel is not stupid. What you feel is understandable, you know? And so that's really important. But I felt the same way. But what I found was that, you know, and so that's how I lead into it. And that's not, you know, I'm not judging anybody or, you know, anything like that. It's just, I'm using that feel, felt, found. And it's very effective. Even if they don't end up purchasing it, you know, they can trust you. Again, they can trust you. And with that.
And when they definitely, if they, you know, no, it's definitely not for me, I'm sorry, I can't do it this time. And I think we talked about this before. Definitely end the conversation is, okay, you know, let them know, please, you know, let them know that you're still going to be there for them just because they didn't buy anything. You know, I'll always say, you know, please continue to follow me or ask me or message me any questions. You know, maybe if you have a meal plan that you've shared before, go ahead and share that. I always tell people that I have some on my blog or I have free recipes on my blog. And then I also say, something about, you know, I'm going to, you know, I hope you don't mind. I'll follow up with you another time and see if it's better. And I generally have never had anyone say, no, don't follow up with me. Generally, people are just like, yeah, that'd be great. Thanks. I appreciate it. Then leading into a month or two later, whenever I have another challenge group, it's not awkward that you can just lead right in and say, hey, just wanted to let you know. I wanted to see if now was a better time. I have another group starting on whatever date. And then it kind of leads into that. And sometimes that turns into it. And other times it's a no, still not quite ready for it. Thanks for checking in with me. And then I'm like, sure, that's my job. I'm here to help people and follow up with you, and kind of let it lead it to know that I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. And, we talked about this, Alicia, a little bit, but, if you're struggling getting people, like inviting people to a challenge group, if you just feel like they're not listening, do a free group. You don't have to hit Success Club your first month. I encourage coaches to do it, but if you're more comfortable just starting with a free group and inviting to that, to practice inviting and practice, posting in a group and encouraging people, run a free group. In our team page, I just posted today, a ton of free group scripts. There's all kinds of different ones. And you don't have to come up with the content yourself. You just have to create your event or a group and invite people to it. So if you want to create an event, you just go over here to events and hit create. You make it public. It's got to be public. You can, create a photo in Canva. It's really easy to create a Facebook photo. You can upload that photo. Let's see. I don't know if I have one right away, but I know I've created tons of them. Hold on. I'm just going to show you this real quick, guys. And, and just start inviting people. You can go to the invite tab. You can type people's name into the invite bar. Here, let me see. Hold on. We can see if I had I don't know. I may not have one right here. But you just create, here's one. So there's a banner that I've created in Canva. And you just put it up there. You call it a 7-day, can't type, 7-day crock pot free clean eating group. You set a date for it. Tell people 7-day meal plan and grocery shopping list with crock pot recipes for the busy fall season. Click going to join. Okay, join. And then you create it. And I'm going to go ahead and create it just because, so I can show you guys this. Hold on. And then you just go over here. You go to invite. You can choose friends to invite. You just go over here to all friends. And you just go through your list of friends and choose people that you want to invite. You click send, or you can share the event. You can copy the event and post it on your personal page and write something about, hey, I'm running a free 7-day crock pot clean eating group. I'm just going to do this, this, and this. If you want to join and just have a free meal plan and some accountability, just click going and we get started on such and such date. And that's a really good way to connect with people. Now let me delete this because people will think I'm running a free crock pot group and I just don't have time right now. But anyways, I'll delete that later. But yeah, it's just, it's a crock pot group is just a free group is just a really easy way to connect with people, to invest in people. That's a good way to give away some information. And then at the end of the group, I always just say, hey, thanks for doing the group. If you're interested in joining my full 30-day challenge group that starts October 3rd, I would love to tell you more about it. And I'm actually offer a super sweet discount to anybody who's done a free group with me on their challenge pack. So let's talk, and then so if you're more comfortable doing something like that, I know Andrea right now, you're just running free groups, Andrea's story, guys, is she's kind of in between. She canceled under her previous coach. She's waiting out her 6 months to be able to sign up again under me on Team Take Heart. So she's just rocking her business and doing it and posting. She's just not inviting to 30-day challenge groups. That's the only thing. So Andrea's a rock star in my book. But anyway, so 7-day free groups, that's a really, really good tool just to give you practice. To go in those conversations, to connect with people. You can share about Shakeology in there. You can offer, You can do a 7-day Shakeology super sampler group. If you want people that, people want to try Shakeology, but they don't want to spend $140, they can buy that $35 Shakeology sampler and try it for a week, and you can give them Shakeology recipes, a meal plan in there. I mean, there's just a lot you can do. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, then don't, just try something different. And you can continue to invite to our challenge group at any time. But definitely if you want to hit Success Club, put that challenge group ad together, put it out there, share your story, talk about the challenge group, and just keep doing what you're doing. I promise that the consistency pays off. And I really am, like Alicia and Andrea, y'all have great posts. Like, you have really great posts that just kind of blow me away a lot of times. But make sure you're tracking. If you're inviting people, keep up with it. Write it in a calendar, your business activity tracker, and read your compound effect. I didn't read it at first, and I struggled with the consistency part and saying, is this worth it? Nobody's following me. Nobody's liking my posts. Nobody's commenting. What I'm doing is not working. I said that to myself for 3 months. And I just kind of plugged along. I was very unhappy. I wasn't having fun. And then I finally picked up that book because everybody in Coach Basics kept talking about it. And so I finally got the book, and it clicked. It made sense. It's those little things that we're doing, the posting, the inviting, the leading by example, being proof that the products work. It just all compounds, and people start to trust you and really believe in you and what you're doing and in the challenge groups the more you talk about it. So, Timmy, do you have anything? That's kind of all I got.
Yeah, I think that's about it. It's about the whole trusting thing. That is big and important. Oh, the one thing I was going to say about the events when you were talking about them, when you do create them, make sure you do little tips within the group, because whenever you put something in the event, in the discussion, they send out a notification to everyone. So like one of the things, like little tricks I did, I was like, I'd talk about what's your favorite crock pot? Here's my crock pot. And I shook a picture of mine, and it sends out a reminder to people about stuff. Or I did, hey, have you ever heard of these slow cooker liners? Have you, those liners you put in the crock pot, and I sent a picture of them, and saves you cleanup. So it saves you time, even more time with the crock pot. So every day I would do like a little, I don't know what the word would be, just something little to kind of help them. Yeah. So a good little, jab to let them know, like, oh yeah, there's that crock pot recipe. And then just say, don't forget to click the link here to join, or, whatever it is you want them to do. So make sure you comment and make little posts inside the event as well before it even starts.
Yeah. Yeah. And then what everybody that says they're interested or that they're going, I will just honestly, with a free group, I'll just add them. I'll create the group, just create a free group, and I'll add them in there and just get going with it. That's how I do it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What questions do you guys have for us?
For the challenge group ads, how often do you do that ad?
Okay. I typically do mine. I will post, so like the ad, I usually launch mine. I start advertising for a challenge group 2 weeks out. So I start a challenge group every month, typically on the 3rd Monday of the month. And so 2 weeks before that, like on a Sunday night, I'll post that challenge group ad and share my story, talk about what the challenge group is. And then honestly, I'll share that same ad at least once more that week, usually like on a Wednesday at lunch or Thursday in the afternoon or evening, just to get different eyes on it. Because the people that see it on Sunday night may not be the same people who are online Wednesday at lunchtime or Thursday morning or Thursday night. So, putting it out there more than once is just ensuring that different people see it. But I will, and so I'll do that at least, like twice that first week and maybe twice again the next week. But after that, I just start talking about my challenge group in some way, at least once a day. And now that I use that event page to talk about a challenge group, I try to post in there every day. But, I like in my morning workout post, I might say something about accountability and how my challengers are rocking it and they're keeping me accountable in my workouts, and say, if you want to join my next Faith and Fitness Challenge group, we start September 19th, let me know, or, click on the link below and I'll put the event link in my comment section, or I'll put my WooFoo form in there or something. But I do try to talk about it at least once a day in some way. I don't necessarily post my challenge group ad every day. I really don't do that. And I'll use different pictures. Like I'll share my challenge group information, but I might share a different picture. I might share a picture of me doing my meal prep, or me cooking dinner in the kitchen or something, talk about a recipe, and say, hey, I share a lot of stuff like this. I'm going to share a lot of crock pot meals in this challenge group that starts the September 19th. If you want to get started with this, let me know today. I've got like 2 spots left, So I'll kind of work it into my daily posting, the posting that I'm already doing, and I'll talk about it in some way. Timmy, I know Timmy posts her, I think it's your WooFoo form a lot. Is that what you post, or your underneath your posting? Yeah.
Yeah, it's my WooFoo form. It's just embedded into my blog is the only difference.
Oh, yeah.
I have it embedded in my blog, and so it goes to my blog. I'm just trying to create more traction to it. But basically, it's just my WooFoo form. And I generally will try to put it in my comments, even if I put it in my actual post, because it shows that there's a comment. And curiosity, kind of, what is that saying? Curiosity killed the cat, or I don't know. But people want to see like what someone else is saying, so they'll click on it to see what someone else is saying. And they see the form, and whether or not they're bummed out that someone didn't say, yeah, join me or something like that, they still kind of have some interest, and then maybe they click the form and fill it out. So
yeah.
Definitely, I kind of always try to put it in the comments, because there's that curiosity factor for the people that are thinking about it. They see someone commented and they want to see what somebody commented, whether or not it's or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So like we just talk about it almost every day. And definitely, if you're using the event page, use the event. It's a really good tool to invite people.
It's a great tool.
Conversation. Yeah. What else? Do you have anything else, Andrea?
Yeah, I had different questions, but I forgot.
Well, we're here.
Yeah, the other thing was, since I'm just running free groups, I didn't know if, do every month I make the same thing, and even if the same people join, or just keep it.
What do you mean make the same thing? Like run the same type of group? I ran one that was really successful. That was a water challenge group. And I don't know if just to run that like every month, or I would switch it up. Yeah, I would switch it up. Like Katie Arsta, another coach, was telling us that she runs a free group every month through her like page, but she just keeps the same group, and she even leaves the same people in there, but she'll like delete out all the posts, and then she'll start it over again. The next month and sometimes she does like I posted those 7 different groups. Like you could do a crock pot challenge one month. You could do a booty busters. I don't really like to use that word. But like a squat challenge, or you could do, like you said, a water challenge. That's good. I do that sugar busters challenge every so often. That's really successful. And you can just kind of rotate those out, obviously at Christmas or like Halloween, you could talk about, busting out of the candy something, or turkey challenge where you share like a week full of clean eating Thanksgiving sides, or something like that. Just get creative and just keep it interesting, keep it different, and people just add value, and just mix it up. I think it's fun to play with free groups a little bit just to see what you can do.
Yeah, I'm liking it. They're really participating. They were kind of not doing it, and I gave that the point system for the one that participates the most. We'll have a Shakeology sample, and now everyone's just like doing it.
Awesome. And see, that way they learn the value of like really checking in and the accountability and how it helps them stick with it. It just gives them a glimpse into what a lot of the challenge would be like. So, free groups are great.
And my other question is, there are some people that are like, they don't want a paid group whatsoever.
Yeah.
And there's one that she is always on my groups, and I'm always, even if she doesn't want anything to do with it, I still, like you said, include her in everything because she wants, my input. But once January comes, I wanted to try to ask her again, how would you do it?
Invite her again to the challenge group. I would just say, hey, I just really hope that I have been able to help you in some way. I wanted to invite you first because you're always so active in my free groups, but I'm doing a full 30-day challenge group. And this group, we will be including, workout program and Shakeology. If you're interested in joining us, I can help you find a workout program that works for you and just see what she says. If she says, no, I don't want to pay, then just say, okay, I'll be doing another free group soon. I'll let you know about that one. Or just keep following me. I mean, you don't have to. I mean, if people say no, they're not rejecting you. They're not rejecting you. It's just they either don't understand, they don't have enough information, they don't understand the value, or they just really don't want to, and it's not about you. Mm-hmm. For sure. Okay. Anything else? Good questions. Alicia?
I'm sorry.
No, Alicia looks like she's going to fall asleep. You're good. This is what this is for. Ask questions.
I saw that Crock-Pot because I'm interested on that one. Mm-hmm. And I saw that some of the links, the first ones that are, I think it's actually the Crock-Pot recipes, are not available. Like, you can't click on them.
Okay.
I couldn't either.
Okay, I'll look at it. But, I mean, just go to Pinterest and start plain eating Crock-Pot recipes. I mean, you can like when I do a free group, I'll put a workout in there. I'll go to Pinterest and find one of those little images and say, hey, this is our workout for today. Or, I'll go and I'll look like in the summertime, barbecue clean eating sides, and I'll just pull some from there and just put them in there. So you can do that. You can update that guide yourself, or you can just, pull them day by day. But I'll look at it. I will check that out. I pulled that from somebody else. I think that was Melanie's. I don't know. You got any more good questions? Yeah. I like questions. No?
That's it.
All right. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to let y'all go. Thank you for showing up and listening and asking questions. And just honestly, just trust the process. Trust the process because it works. But don't, and like if you have questions or you don't know how to respond to somebody, Alicia, or you're like, how do I follow up? Ask us. That's what this is for. Because this is not normal everyday Facebook interaction. It's stuff that you have to learn. And so that's what we're here. We're trying to help you guys learn that stuff. Okay. And we've fouled a lot of things up. I promise. We've done lots of things, that didn't work. So we've got lots of advice. All right, guys. Well, good night. I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay. And Timmy's posting this week in the group, so make sure you check for her messages in the morning this week.
I was going to do a post for tomorrow for objections.
Woo! Let's see it.
Okay.
All right, guys. Good night.
Good night. Bye.